Drake has been like so cooked, like Gen Z or Alpha, Gamma, whatever the fuck. They need to come up with like a new name for it or something, because it's bad. It's like really, really bad adjustments. That should be better. And I wanna talk about it. I wanna talk about how badly Drake has been cooked. The full story, give you the full lowdown. The 411. Does anyone say that anymore? I've been watching Drake and Kendrick. Man, they used to be friends. Like from 2011 to 2012, they actually were featured on each other's songs quite a bit. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people that are only hearing about them now. Well, about Kendrick now, about the beef now. It's Kendrick. I don't think Kendrick was as big as Drake. Drake has more cross-promotional appeal, okay? And so a lot of people who don't just like hip-hop will know him. Like people that like primarily hip-hop are gonna know Kendrick Lamar. They're gonna know how great he is. People who like only pop, they might hear Drake because he will make pop songs or whatever like that. Drake's career took off first. It took off before Kendrick's. He was signed to Young Money by Lil Wayne, gave him a huge boost onto his career, and he actually, on his Take Care album, he gave like an interlude just to Kendrick Lamar. So Kendrick was on it by himself, and Kendrick actually featured Drake on one of his songs on his first album. The song was called Poetic Justice. The album was called Good Kid, Mad City, one of my favorite albums of all time. And Drake let Kendrick and A$AP Rocky, who's like super famous now, he let them both open for him on his tour. And so he helped out their careers a lot in the beginning, and they all released a song together called Problems. Kendrick Lamar, it was A$AP Rocky's song. A$AP Rocky featuring 2 Chainz, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick writes it, or I think he wrote like the chorus and stuff, and he was gonna release it for himself, but he was like no, and he gave it to A$AP Rocky. Such a nice thing to do. The problem started with the Control verse. Dun dun dun. The Control verse. Kendrick Lamar was featured on a Big Sean song. Big Sean, I don't know if you guys know Big Sean, another famous rapper from Detroit, along with Jay Electronica. And in that song, when Kendrick rapped, basically he called out a lot of up and coming artists, and it's like, you guys are all like amazing, and I want to be better than all of you, like you all are my competition, sort of thing. And I think everyone was cool with it. Everyone that he mentioned in that song, because he mentioned J. Cole, he mentioned Mac Miller, he mentioned a lot of people, and he mentioned Drake obviously also. Drake did not respond good to it. He was like, okay, yeah, because they met up a few days later, and Kendrick he said like straight after that song, he's like, it's not dissing, it's just about competition, it's friendly competition. And he met up with Drake a few days later, and he was like normal with him, and he was like, what's up? And he was like, it's all love, you know. And Drake in an interview after that, he's like, why is he pretending like we friends or whatever? It's either if you're gonna diss me on a track, then you must diss me in real life also. And Drake didn't understand that it was a compliment. Drake released a song called The Language on Nothing Was the Same, which was also a good album. I enjoyed that album. I enjoyed Nothing Was the Same, bro. And he released the Language on that, but then he was like, no. Oh, Birdman came out and said it wasn't a diss. And both of them, they released a lot of songs in between over the years that could have been taken as like as this like a subliminal this either towards Kendrick towards Drake or Drake towards Kendrick, but they never mentioned name and they never like confirmed it in interviews or outside of the music in tweets or by third party confirmation. Not until 2024 that's when it started to pop off, when Kendrick mentions Drake and J. Cole like directly. And in between that, Drake got into so many beef. So many beef. Like, I don't know. It's like that's his job. He's beefing with people like that's his job. Like, bro, you're supposed to be an artist. What the hell is this list of people he's beefed with? Meek Mill. The Meek Mill beef was actually kind of... Meek Mill said that Drake has ghostwriters, and that started a beef, and now we all know Drake uses ghostwriters. So it's like, what was it even for? You're trying to protect your image, and now everyone knows that you lied about having ghostwriters, so it backfired for him. But Drake did beat Meek Mill in that beef. He told him, he said, is that a world tour or your girls tour? And then he beat him. There was nothing Meek Mill could say back to that. I think Meek Mill did release a diss track, but no one cared about it. And then Meek Mill went to jail, and he came out, and then they squashed the beef, and now they're like, oh, we friends sort of now. Pusha T. Anyone knows about Pusha T? He released a diss track called The Story of Adonis. I think Drake mentioned Pusha T's fiance or wife or whatever in one of the diss tracks. So then Pusha T did The Story of Adonis, where he told everyone Drake has been hiding a son from the world because he's ashamed of the son, he's ashamed of the mother. And basically he destroyed Drake in that beef. Drake should have learned from there. He should have been like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't just be starting fights with people, but like everyone. But he didn't learn, and now look where he is. Kanye West, Pusha T assigned to Kanye West record label, so that's why they got that beef. And it looked like it was gonna be squished. It looked like it was gonna be finished. Kanye West and Drake's beef looked like it was gonna be done, but then Kanye produced the beat, and it was an amazing beat. It is an amazing beat. And he told Drake, you know what, you can have it because I'm not going to do anything with it. And Drake was like, oh man, that's so cool, that's awesome. And then Drake takes the beat, and I think he like got his ghostwriters to write for it, or he wrote for it or whatever. And then it gets released by Kanye. And Kanye releases it as his own song. And the verse that Kanye spits on that, oh my gosh, it's just... It's scoop to the whoop, scoop the poop. Like that's what he raps on. It's an amazing beat. He's like scoop poop, but just so Drake couldn't use it. That's so petty. That's so very, very petty, Kanye. And then the beef has been reignited. So yeah, they hate each other again. Rick Ross and Drake. P. Diddy and Drake. Diddler and a Drizzler. There's a song by Drake called 0 to 100, and when Drake got the beat, P. Diddy wanted Drake to ghostwrite for him. Wanted to ghostwrite that song for P. Diddy. P. Diddy's gonna rap it. He's gonna get the acclaim, and Drake was like, no. Drake releases it himself. I think they fought, and P. Diddy beat him or something. They had a physical altercation. It doesn't really matter. Just know that they are on opposite sides. At least one good thing. Triple X Tentacion. He wasn't all... Okay, he is famous. He just wasn't signed. He was an independent artist. And basically he accused Drake of stealing his flows, because he was like a lesser known artist. Drake took his flows basically the same way that he's rapping on one of his songs and Drake's rapping on his songs, and getting famous and getting more money because he's got the machine behind him pushing his music. And Triple X did mention in like a tweet or whatever, Instagram post, whatever it was, that if he gets murdered over Drake, he's snitching right now. And then like 3 months later he was murdered. And on one of Drake's tracks he was like, if he would have kept his mouth, he still would have been alive. And he doesn't mention names, but I think he does say X or whatever. And yeah, so Drake could have possibly murdered like a young rapper. Possibly. He might just be taking credit for it or whatever. Anthony Fantano, who just reviews music. He reviews music. He's not even like a rapper. What? I think he gave Drake's albums like poor scores or whatever. So what? Critics gonna do that, bro. Why are you beefing with a movie reviewer? God damn it, Drake. The Weeknd and Drake, the dream team, the Canadian dream team. The first time I heard The Weeknd was on a Drake album. I think it was also Take Care, Cruel Love, yeah. And then they featured on each other so many times throughout the years. And Drake wanted to sign The Weeknd to OVO. The Weeknd said no. And like a bit of animosity built throughout the years between the two of them because of that. And then obviously Drake started going out with The Weeknd's ex, Bella Hadid, which caused like a bigger rift between the two. And then The Weeknd hopped on a song on Future and Metro Boomin's album, We Don't Trust You. A$AP Rocky, because of Drake used to date, I think, Rihanna for a little bit. Then they broke up, she moved on. She married A$AP Rocky, they started a family together. They have, I think, like 2 kids together. Drake still be mentioning Rihanna, and so A$AP dissed him publicly on the album Future Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You. Future, I completely forgot why he's beefing with Future. They also did some very good collabs and made some pretty big hits together. I wonder what happened over there. Joe Budden is another guy that like reviews music. I think he's also called sort of a rapper. I don't know any of his music. I think he actually released this track towards Drake. Maybe I should check them out. I wonder if they're any good. Drake. That's a lot of beefs. That's a lot of beefs to be in. He's also in a beef with Pharrell. For what reason? I don't even know. I don't even know why he's beefing with Pharrell. But he is beefing. But Pharrell's not even like... Pharrell is a rapper, okay? But he's more of a producer. And like, everybody loves Pharrell. Like, it's hard to understand why you would be beefing with Pharrell. Like, okay. A couple of tracks. The Meltdown. Travis Scott featuring Drake. Drake's whole verse is about beef. And also... I can't even remember that other song now. Maybe Drake feels like the controversy sells. That's why he keeps getting into beefs. So they can keep selling albums, keep putting them out, keep being at the top of the discussions. But man, it's really backfired on him now. Because like almost everyone, a lot of people in the entertainment industry do not like him. A lot of rappers do not like him. And thanks to Kendrick Lamar, a lot of people think some pretty bad things about him because he decided to get into a beef with Kendrick Lamar. And how did that all start? Wait, we discussed that. How how did that all escalate into and get to the point to where we are right now? How did that all escalate and get to the point where we are at right now? Why am I speaking like this? October 2023, first person shooter, Drake featuring J. Cole. Such a good song. J. Cole's verse on that track is so good. On that track, J. Cole says, who is the hardest MC? Is it Kate Dot? That's Kendrick Lamar. Is it Aubrey? That's Drake. Or me, J. Cole, obviously. And he says, we the big three. So Drake, Cole, Kendrick, the big three. But he says, but I'm the best. And it was like, oh, it's a cool track. And then Cole it's not really like this thing. It's just like he's hyping himself up. It's just like it's competition. I don't think anyone took too much offense to it. Not even Kendrick, even though he does respond 6 months later, March 2024, would like that, unlike that, which was the Future and Metro Boomin song on the album that we've mentioned earlier, We Don't Trust You. That's a whole album. A whole album dedicated to this in Drake. And on that song, like that, Kendrick mentions first person shooter. He says it's not the big three, it's just big me. And basically he calls out a challenge to J. Cole and Drake. And he's like, both of y'all aren't better than me, I'm the best. And it's still not personal, if I can say that. Yeah, it's not personal. It's competition. It's between rappers. It's like, I'm the best rapper, not you guys. It's not about it's not about who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the stuff that you do in the dark. It's not about you possibly liking younger individuals. Yeah, it's just about rap. And I could have stayed that way. I could have, but I didn't, because we're dealing with Drake over here. Okay, J. Cole did release a song called 7 Minute Drill. J. Cole released a song called 7 Minute Drill, which was a diss track towards Kendrick Lamar. It was okay. It wasn't all that good. He then deleted it, and then at a concert of his, Dreamville concert, he publicly apologized to Kendrick. He's like, sorry for doing that, dog. I'm sorry for doing that, man. And he's like, that was lame. It was the lamest thing I've ever done. I don't want to be in beefs with like a friend or whatever. He was the bigger man. He stepped up. He's like, I'm sorry. Let's put this whole thing behind. People said that Schoolboy Q warned him to stay out of it because Kendrick was planning to go like hard after Drake. And so he was like, you better get out of the way of everything that's coming towards Drake. And maybe that happened. It's just speculation. Maybe Cole is just like that good of a guy, and he's like, I don't want to beef with my friends. I don't want to argue with my friends. So let's put this whole thing to rest. And he was out of it. And he lived in peace. And he's still living in peace. And we're waiting for the Fall Off to drop. The Fall Off, that's J. Cole's new album that's coming soon. Apparently, according to him. We're still waiting for it, bro. April 19, Push Ups drop. That's the response from Drake. I like to like that. In that, Drake calls Kendrick Lamar short. Yeah. He talks about his record deal. But he also talks about Whitney, which is Kendrick Lamar's fiance. Kendrick Lamar has 2 kids with her. Drake makes it personal. He makes it personal. I don't know, maybe he feels like he's not as good a rapper. He has so many accolades. Why not just rap about that? Rap, say, hey, I sold way more records than you, made more money. Like, why you want to talk about his Beyonce? It's a bad move. It's a bad move for Drake. Look what happened. I gotta stop mentioning the end. I'm giving away spoilers over here. Spoiler warning. Drake does not win the beef. Yeah, he calls Kendrick short, which is a recurring theme for him. And then a few days later, he releases the tailor-made freestyle. Tailor-made freestyle, Drake uses AI generated voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg to sort of disrespect Kendrick Lamar. He makes fun of Kendrick for having done features with Taylor Swift and says that Kendrick doesn't want to drop his diss track because Taylor Swift drops her new album, The Dead Poet Society. Is it The Dead Poet Society? I don't remember. But yeah. And he's like, you gotta wait for Taylor's album to sell out for its first week, then you're only gonna release. And what else does he? He also says, while using Tupac's AI generated voice, this is how dumb Drake can be sometimes. Cause he can see his downfall coming. He can foretell it. He knows what people are gonna say about him. He knows what's gonna happen, and yet he still goes through what he's going through with. He still goes there and does it because he thinks, oh no, even if they do that, I'm still gonna win. That's far. Nothing could be farther from the truth, right? He says to Kendrick, using Tupac's voice, tell them how he likes little girls. He's saying to Tupac, he's saying as Tupac to Kendrick about Drake. Tell them that he likes little girls. Is that not the most ridiculous? He tried to 8 Mile. He tried to pull off an 8 Mile maneuver and he failed terribly. It's like if after Eminem said all those things about himself in 8 Mile, Anthony Mackie got up and said the exact same things, but way better. Like 100 times better than Eminem did, and the whole crowd got behind it, and the whole crowd believed it, and was like, yeah. And now you lose the beef. You've lost your shot. You only had one shot, and you blew it. You missed your shot to blow. April 30. Kendrick Lamar, Euphoria. I believe that the beef ended with this song. Kendrick Lamar, Euphoria, April 30th. That was it. Drake did not release a better diss track than that. That was the end of the beef. People around Drake, people that cared about Drake, his friends, his family, whoever was in the studio with him, should have told him, his ghostwriters, whoever, his own conscience, goddamn, that should have said, Drake, you've lost. That's it. You lost the beef. And Euphoria is such a good song. Yeah, it's one of my favorites from the beef. Kendrick goes at Drake as a rapper. Still, he gets a little bit personal. He says, Drake, you don't know how to be a parent, which is not all that bad, man. And he doesn't get too personal. He gets a little bit personal, but not that personal. Not as personal as he could get. Not as personal as he does get. And it's a sort of a warning shot also, even though it's a straight diss. Even though it's better than all the others that Drake put out, he's still like, I'm still holding back. I'm beating you right now, but I'm still holding back. bro, like, just bow out. You lost already. You take the L. It looks bad, but it could look a whole lot worse. This is like going up against someone that's 10 times stronger than you, and they punch you once and you drop to the floor, and maybe I should just stay down. Maybe, you know what, live to fight another day. Just stay down for now. They're gonna walk away, you're gonna get up, you're gonna carry on with your life. Kendrick releases another diss track on My Dad, which is a diss track, but it's like not even really. He says in the diss track, it's a warning. It's much more of a warning. Kendrick says in that diss track, there are people in your circle that want to see you dead. They do not want you to succeed. They are feeding me information. They want you to fail. Think about the way you live in your life. Think about the people that are around you before you carry on this beef. It's not gonna end well for you, basically. Drake does not listen. Drake should have listened. He does not. He should have listened. He should have quit while he was a little bit behind. But he tries to win. He tries to win the beef, and he goes forward with his plans and releases Family Matters. I don't know. I do not know at what time 16 in LA was released. Family Matters was released the same day, probably a few hours later, maybe like 10 or 12, whatever. And Family Matters was the best diss track that Drake released in this whole beef. And it wasn't bad. It was like, it had some cutting remarks. It was a few short jokes, once again. A few short jokes. It was Drake saying that Kendrick's fiance was cheating on him with his manager, and one of Kendrick's children is actually his manager's child. And yeah, there was some pretty good rapping in there. There was some excellent beats. It was a good diss track, and it could have stirred up like a lot of like conversations, controversy. It could have like been played a lot. Could have been a big track, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately for Drake, 20 minutes later, after he released his diss track, and everyone's still listening to it, and they're like, oh, okay, they're trying to decipher it, they're trying to share it and stuff like that. Kendrick's like, nope, not gonna happen, not gonna let you get the upper hand for even a second. He releases Meet the Grahams. 20 minutes later, Meet the Grahams. Drake's name is Aubrey Graham. Meet the Grahams is a diss track that is probably the best diss track. It's kind of like the worst because it's so cutting, it's so devious. It's like, oh man, it's eerie. It's you cannot. It's unsurvivable, basically. It's a letter or several letters directed directly at Drake's family. His son Adonis, his mother Sarah, his father Dennis, like a hidden daughter. Kendrick says that Drake's hiding another child, a daughter this time, and then to Drake himself. And by the time it got to Drake, and in that track, that's where Kendrick says Drake's just like Weinstein. He's like he's harming women, he's harming young women also. And it pretty much ended the beef completely. It was the nuclear option, and Kendrick tried to warn Drake a few times before releasing that. But once it released that, the beef was over. Like, he won with Euphoria, but like he completely shut it down with Meet the Grahams. Like, there was no coming back from that. And they could have left it at that. Kendrick could have left it at that. But he was like, nah. Nah. He wants everyone to know about it. Meet the Grahams isn't a dancey like track. It's not something you're gonna hear in the club or whatever. It's mostly listened to by hip-hop fans. Maybe some pop fans or whatever who were interested in this whole beef between Drake and Kendrick, but not really. It didn't have the cross-promotional yeah. And so what happens the very next day? The very next day, Kendrick goes ahead and releases Not Like Us. And everyone knows Not Like Us. Everyone now knows Not Like Us. That was a dancey track. That was the track that you could play in the club. And he says everything that he says. Not everything, but he says most of what he says in Meet the Grahams in Not Like Us. But now, in a fancy, dancey way. And people say Meet the Grahams was Kendrick burying Drake. Not Like Us, that's Kendrick dancing on his grave. Meet the Grahams did do a number on Drake's career. And he's like his visage, whatever. And Not Like Us being as big as it is, I never saw it coming. Anyway, Not Like Us being played by everyone. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's vibing to it. Like, everyone loves that song. And it's getting played in November. And it's getting played so much. Kendrick gets chosen to host the Super Bowl halftime show, which we just did a week ago. And then Drake's like, you know what? He files a petition against UMG and Spotify because he's like, no, you guys are conspiring against me. You're making Not Like Us seem like it's getting played more than it is, like it's been streamed more than it is. And UMG like immediately was like, no, we aren't. like, no, we aren't. People, once we get that song, that's why they're listening to it. What are you talking about, Drake? And then Spotify waited for like a bit longer, and they responded also, and they're like, yeah, no, people just really like the song, or we don't know what you're talking about. And it's weird that Drake's saying that when everyone knows the lyrics. Like, everyone knows the lyrics to Not Like Us. Like, you see it at the Grammys, you saw it at the halftime show. Everyone's rapping along to it. Everyone, like, when the beat starts, everyone immediately screams because they know what it is. Like, how can you say it's bots or fabricated influence? It's real influence, bro. Drake also files a petition of defamation and pay to play with UMG and iHeartRadio, saying that iHeartRadio is only playing Not Like Us because UMG is paying them to do it. I think iHeartRadio probably just wanted like some listeners. That's why they're playing it, because that's the song that people want to hear. January, Drake actually filed like a full-on lawsuit. No more petitions against UMG for defamation. Does not mention Kendrick at all. I don't know why. Kendrick's the one that released the diss track towards you, but you want to sue UMG. Like, why did you guys release it? Why are you guys promoting it? It's like, because it's making them money. Why do you think? And Drake also released this track towards Kendrick. Does he expect to be sued for defamation himself? If Drake had won the beef, would he have accepted being sued for defamation? I don't think so, but yet he wants to sue other people. doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I think like the main thing, these lawsuits and these files and for petitions and all this, was to try and stop Not Like Us from being performed. Because he knew, because like, even though a lot of people were listening to it, like before the Grammys and the halftime show, it wasn't all that much. There was still like people who weren't all that into rap that did not know about it or were not aware of its existence. You're trying to stop the Grammys from like giving Not Like Us any awards in like maybe fear of legal action, and you're trying to stop like get the Super Bowl to be like, no, Kendrick Lamar, you can't perform this song because of legal action that's been taken against it. Both of these, that, oh my gosh, it failed. His plan failed. It failed terribly. Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, the song by Kendrick Lamar, was nominated for 5 Grammys. It won 5 Grammys. And in Family Matters, the diss track by Drake, like I said, Drake can see what's gonna happen, but he still does the things that he does. In Family Matters, he says, Kendrick just opened his mouth, someone go hand him a Grammy right now. Right? Talking about how Kendrick Lamar won so many Grammys because Kendrick Lamar puts out such amazing albums, it doesn't matter. 5 Grammy nominations, 5 Grammy wins, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Rap Performance, Best Rap Song, and Best Music Video. Now everyone listening to Not Like Us all over again, all the people that tuned into the Grammys that didn't know about it, listening to it, and now there's more people saying that Drake likes A-. And it gets worse because then at the Super Bowl halftime show, what does Kendrick do? Wait till the last second, performs Not Like Us once again, everyone singing about how Drake likes A-. And it's inescapable now. That's what Drake's gonna be associated with for the rest of his career. All because he wanted to get personal. Man, you should have just left it out. You should have stopped. You should have just not taken it so personally with the Control verse. You could have still been friends. You could have still been releasing music together. God damn it, man. Drake, why? Drake? You should have stopped at Euphoria. You should have seen that you've lost and you should have let it go. But you carried on, and now everyone knows you as liking minors. It's a sad thing. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope it was informative, entertaining, funny, all the other good things. I'll see you in the next one.